Gerald Brown here in another episode of Heavy in the Paint, and I'm always honored and a pleasure and privilege to be on with an individual that at the end of the day, first class gentleman, high basketball IQ. A lot of people thought he was a bully, he was just a thug, but you know what? He was a real one. He's often loved, still loved to this day by everyone in the city of New York, Knicks fans all over. He has one of the best car washes in New York City. He does his thing in the kitchen. He has the book. He has so many things. The last enforcer himself, the one and only, the legendary Mr. Charles Oakley.
Yeah, you see the gear, go get it. It's online, oakleycarwash.com. I'm coming, y'all.
Oh, first and foremost, I want to say thank you so much. And I have to say this publicly because you know what? Normally I would say this privately, but you know what? I've always been appreciative of you, even when I was a ball boy. And the fact of the matter is, you never stayed, you never was different. You were always the same with regards to being kind, the way you were with fans. You always giving of your time, even to this day, and you help so many people. I really appreciate you, and more than ever, I've always admired how you carried yourself because you never let the success get to you. Why was that, especially when you're playing in a city like New York?
Gerald, I think in life when you learn early, you're around great people, and you sit back and watch. Never try to act too grown and growing up, and that's what I did. I watched my grandparents, my mom, my sisters, brothers, and just people in walk of life in Cleveland. It was a lot of people in Cleveland who were doing a lot of good things, and I was just a young kid just watching.
Yeah, I mean, you
So,
just you always stayed the same. But I gotta ask you a personal question. You want to fly as dress I've ever seen. You know,
uh-huh,
it was always that myth that sick, big guys would look all goofy and stuff.
right.
I remember going in the locker room and stuff, and afterwards, I was always like, wow, even when you come in, you put it together, whatever with a style or something like that, you were the trendsetter. And where did you get that style from in terms of being able to put stuff up together and really just blend in and set the tone for the Knicks?
I mean, growing like everything that's come with me is growing up. I was paying attention, not just my family, always my sister, mom, aunts, all them best dressers, just the people in Cleveland. Every time about Cleveland, Chicago, Detroit, all the dressers from the Midwest, and that's what people did back in the days, and that's what stayed with me during my career. Everywhere I went, I wanted to impress people, not just basketball, what I had on.
Mhm. If you look at today's NBA or just in today's general and basketball and stuff like that, it seems so apparent that a lot of these young players and stuff like that doesn't understand what it means and what it takes to be a professional. If you have advice for young players that are coming up, especially American players, because there's a lot of European players where the league is now shifting more so to the European players. When you hear the
Right,
word professionalism, what does that word mean to you, or better yet, professional athlete? What does it mean to you? And forget basketball, just
right.
all sports.
It means a lot to me. I think that people always, they see you, you give you a thumb up, thumb down, just like consistency too. I think that when you growing up and people get in fights, this and that happen, but I think else it's just when the person see you. You got a suit on, nice tie, nice haircut. Um, yeah, but no, it's just one of those things. I think that I'm a detailed guy, and and people I used to hear a lot of stories about. They say when you go out, make sure especially when you go into something like a cocktail party or dinner or something, have a jacket on, or a collar shirt or something, and that stuff just stick with me. And I still try to follow the guidelines. I try not to get too much into the new generation or how they look or this and that, sagging pants, hat to the back. I don't wear a lot of hoodies. I wear a hoodie, but I wear them on my head. I don't walk around with a hoodie on like I'm trying to disguise myself or they think I'm somebody special. But no, I just say 6'9", 265. This is what you see when you see me with a nice gear on at all times.
When you got in the league and stuff like that, who was that veteran for you that really put you under their wing and showed you the ways of being a professional in the NBA and really help you, obviously through the walks? get you through your
Well,
rookie
I just
season?
came in the walk of life. When you got to the league from, when I came from Virginia Union, historic black college, I didn't have the stuff that I had when I got to the NBA. But when I got to the league, like I said, you look around, you see what's going on. And guys always was dressed, when you come to the game. I think that was a mental approach. You look nice, you play nice. But it was just, the guys on the Bulls, they always wore suits and ties, casual, but look good. This new generation is totally different. So it's daytime. They want to wear the tight pants, the sagging pants, whatever they wear some stuff that it just look kind of crazy, but that's their style. I came felt somebody got that's your style, and I think today's days it's wide open, and you don't see a lot of suit and ties. You see a lot of sweaters, a lot of varsity jackets, t-shirts. Everybody got their own style now. So hey, everybody says it's crazy, but it's a crazy time in society. So do what you feel. If you feel comfortable like that, put it on.
Even if you can't wear it, just go ahead and do what you want to do. Oh,
Well, some people look good at casual stuff. I mean, some people don't want to wear suits. I get that. You
yeah,
don't
I
have to.
mean,
Hey, I didn't wear a lot of suits back in the days. He wore jeans, hat to the back, throwback jersey. I mean, some guys feel comfortable like that, and I'm not blaming them. But my thing is, okay, you got to know when you go to a function. Okay, we ain't looking for jeans, hat to the back, a nice suit and tie. So you got to know the difference in where you're going.
yeah. Oh, on the basketball court and stuff, you one of the few people that had you're connected to two arguably all-time greats, and Michael Jordan and LeBron James. And I think that is so kind of unfair that in this society they're often compared to one another, and yet the fact is two different styles of basketball,
Right, two different
game has
styles.
changed and stuff like that. What was your impression when you first saw Michael Jordan early on when you were back with the Bulls and stuff?
Um, you know, hey, he came in the league the year before me. When I got to the league, and when they drafted me and traded me to Chicago, I know he was something special. But once I got there to play with him and see him on a everyday base, how he carried himself with so much swag and just professionalism and just you know all about want to win and just play basketball and skill is showed in practice. When the game, you just see him play. It was amazing. See him play in practice, then in the game, it was just like they like rehearsing for a show, and then when you get on stage, just to get better.
Mm, mm. What was there anything now when you see LeBron's game? What is there any similarities in LeBron's game that you look at and say Jordan has that as well, or are they just two totally
I
different
mean,
ball?
both were great athletes. Both was like uh, just special. Mike was special his way. LeBron was special his way. LeBron, passed Kareem last year. It's the leading scorer in NBA history. Mike is the guy who put numbers up. LeBron was another guy who got his team more involved. But at the end of the day, hey, like I said, it's like being a cockpit, both of them side by side. So it's one guy be an A, one guy be one A2. So give both of them all their flowers.
Yeah, definitely all deserve both of them deserve all their flowers and stuff. And when you look at today's game, is there a player that you see a little of yourself in, even though the game
Uh,
power forward position has changed completely?
yeah, change. Yes, a lot of things have changed. All the positions basically just got some all small forwards and power forward. No really dominant centers. It's some centers in the game, but the game is definitely evolved in a different like 3-point shooters and a lot of guys want to play with space, and I think that we play more impact. Inside out for defensive, schemes. I don't see a lot of defensive scheme like it used to be. I don't think coaches play with scheme. They just try to get the best athletes and hope everybody else can have some kind of fundamental to play with. The other, like with Curry or Clay, Joel B, and Maxey. So you're getting more of a 1-2 punch now.
Yeah. When you look at the situation that happened with Draymond, and
Mhm.
obviously he's suspended indefinitely, and
Right.
Obviously, he's kind of, if you will, was kind of like Curry's enforcer and stuff. And not to knock him and stuff like that, but when you look at some of the things that he's done, what advice would you have had for him that hopefully will help him moving forward?
Uh, I mean, your style is always said, play to your style. But my thing is, I put a lot of this onto the league for allowing it to go 5, 6, 7 times. You got once or twice. After that, you got handled the business. I mean, that always happened when we played back in the days. They say it's a different league, but my thing is, it was all about going global market, getting the European players to come over here. Back in the 80s and 90s, you didn't see a lot of European players. Now you probably got 35, 40%. So you want to take your investment. What Draymond done, hey, I mean, he had to, like I said, you bake your cake, you got to eat it too. So he got to, the punishment, he got to take the punishment like a man. And then when he come back, hopefully he can be on track. But when you play a certain way and your style, like boxing, if you're a softball or whatever you got to do, you got to do what it takes for you to win. And what happened on the court. I mean, I try not to get too much into that because when you play inside, things gonna happen. I've been hit in the face, hit in the head, but some people do things different when they get hit.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the thing. I think Charles Barkley did something to you in Houston.
Oh yeah, well, Barkley's a lame anyway, so he's doing a lot of talking. But he got a lot of talk about these younger guys. But Barkley wasn't really a leader back then. He had a lot of talent. He was this and that. I think that as we watch the game now, we try to critique these guys in a way, but we got to take our style out the game and say, hey, if you see somebody doing something consistent, that's how they play. A Bill Lambier, or a lot of guys with the Detroit, they said were tough, wasn't really tough, but they had a name. Puffy had a name with Bad Boy Entertainment. So when they name you something, sometimes name can get you in trouble.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you talk about guys like yourself and Rick Mahorn and and really seeing guys that I often don't like.
Well, I think I played totally different than all them guys. So I don't put none of them guys in my category.
Do explain that. Do explain that.
Huh? No, I'm just saying I did. I mean, I didn't never try to take them out the air or this and that. But I said my job was about being in construction. I was in the paint. So I was doing things inside the paint. I didn't go outside the 3-point line and try to knock somebody out or play dirty or do something like that. And I just want people to realize that, we're going to play tough and hard, but yeah, you're going to get hit. But when you play a power forward, if you're a power forward, you're going to get hit. So sometimes you just have to take that hit. And you got to realize that when a guy trying to hit you, being dirty, if there's somebody being dirty with you, handle your business. But when you just playing basketball, things can happen.
Yeah. Oh, when you hear guys talk about the fact is saying that, and I know guys get on and guys will say stuff just for shock value, and hearing the talk that there are certain guys that could play in this era, play back when you played in those 90s and stuff like that. And then they're saying that there's guys that couldn't play, that was played in the 90s, couldn't play in this era. What are your thoughts on that when you hear talk like that?
Well, everybody got an opinion. They trying to sell. They trying to market the league, so they're gonna always have some controversy, some that make you want to say, "Oh, okay, yeah, you couldn't play in our era." And then the younger guys say, "Well, you can't play in our era." Okay, everybody have their own opinion, but my thing is, I think now it's when we play, it was more structured. You had to know how to play. Now I don't see a lot of structure. I don't see you have to be real skilled to play with teammates because I see a lot of guys taking threes, can't make threes, don't work on the mid-range game, but they say they want to take a shot every 6 or 7 seconds. So I guess whoever open, take a shot, but that's not good for teams because a lot of guys are always open. So I think that you got to know your strength and weakness and know what you mean to your team.
When you look at the IQ of today's game, do you think it's just lessened and it's more athleticism and just athletes as opposed to when you played? Like I remember you guys with Pat Riley, it was all, I think his first year or so, y'all were having 2-a-day practices or something like that. And that's not even heard of now, but it just really seeing the execution on the floor from a playbook standpoint, you don't really see that. When you hear about that and stuff like that, do you think that the IQ of the game has taken a step back?
Well, I think it may be because a lot of work. I think we played, it was more deep. Like I said, you had to know more, you had to understand, especially on the court situation. And if you was a bad free throw shooter, you weren't going to be in the game the last 2 or 3 minutes because every point, every possession, it meant a lot. Now, like I say, the teams probably shooting now 90 to 100 a game, shots a game. But when we played, probably 75 to 80, 85. So it's a big difference in shots. So you try to make the best value out of every shot you get on offense end. But like I say, the game has changed a lot. So you see that you see now that a lot of these younger teams the last 2 or 3 years is growing, like the Minnesota, the OKC. The West is really tough. The East, the teams in the East is basically the same team. So I think the West is more involved with the younger players. Like I said, Memphis is going to be, when John Morant come back, they're going to be a factor. And you see the older teams, have to fight out games every night because the younger guys got better legs. And I think they want to speed up the pace. Like the NFL, want more scoring, but you're going to realize sooner or later, more score is going to hurt because everybody, 150, 160 points. People don't want to watch that.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, when you hear about it, I had BJ on a couple weeks back, and BJ had talked about, you think about it, when we heard a guy score 50 points, we would be like, oh, wow. And now it's like, guy scored 50 points.
It's no story no more because almost it's somebody scoring 50 every night now.
Yeah.
And one guy's scoring 50, one guy's scoring 40. So, okay, when the playoffs come, let's see the same two guys get 30 and 40 a night. If you do that as your main two guys, you're gonna win the championship. So we'll see what happens. It's like that play-in. After Indy lost to the Lakers, I don't think they won a game. I don't think they've been like teams like, okay, they talking about because they had the younger guys playing well, getting triple doubles. Now that's over with in the regular season start. Now you're making more attention, you're making more people be aware of you. And some of these teams ain't really, they win 5 in a row. Oh, they hot. Now these teams coming in now, let's play a little more physical. You don't see that physicality from the other team. And I don't think that some of these younger teams, once later on in the season, the playoff, you're going to see them. Some of them going to go up, some going to go down, but we'll see what happens.
I had somebody that was in the league that told me, said dynasties never end well. It always ends bad.
Right.
It's always a pretty ending when you have dynasties. And you look at the Bulls and the way how they ended and stuff. And now you're looking at the situation with Draymond and the Golden State Warriors. And obviously we can't even, you talked about the older teams and stuff having a struggle with the younger teams and stuff. When you look at the Golden State Warriors, do you see them possibly another championship, or is it just a situation where are you kind of surprised that they didn't do the inevitable and start making trades?
Well, with Golden State is, I think that over the last 3 or 4 years, they had drafted well, for, as Warriors plugging in with the veterans. And a lot of guys, 2 years ago, they won a championship. Them guys played well, but they had more veterans on the team. And now a few of the veterans left and got contracts other places. And the time for the young guy to step in, it's a totally different game. Hey, I can play 15, 20 minutes, but somebody asks you to play 30, 35 minutes or play within the team. Some guys can't. Some guys just role player. And so I think that's what Golden State is going through right now. Wiseman, he didn't fit in. They had to get rid of him. They got Wiggins. He's struggling this year. Curry, Clay ain't himself. But I think that, Steve Kerr, he gonna try different matchups. He gonna try and, see what they can do before trade deadline. They definitely need some more help because, like I said, the younger guys out west, there's some tough young teams out there.
Yeah. I got 2 stories that epitomize, pretty much the last enforcer, if you will. And it's just my personal experience. I go back to the time you tell me about going to a Yankee game. And, he was like, yo, you want to go to a Yankee game? And I remember even before then, actually a third part, we were in Ohio and I'm out there with my family. You tell me, yeah, call you up. But better yet, I meet you. And you at this club. I roll past you. We at this club and you outside talking to Mike Tyson. Or we go to this concert and it's Gerald Levert, rest in peace. And,
right.
and come on stage and stuff. And then I remember you tell me about going to a Yankee game. And you say, hey, you want to go to a Yankee game? Meet you at the Yankee game. Meet you at the Yankee game. Now I'm thinking we're going to just sit back, behind home plate or whatever. We go upstairs. I get my ticket. I go upstairs. And we sitting in Derek Jeter's booth, his suite with his family and stuff.
Right.
And I was like, wow, I'm not surprised because it just always spoke to the level of people that you knew that were just fans of yours and friends. Then we went to the Giant game against the Cowboys, the Jets actually, or 9/11, and we sitting in the suite with Jay-Z, LeBron,
Right.
Carmelo, all these guys.
Right.
How did you navigate so well around New York and was able to avoid all of the foolishness? Because it can overwhelm you and stuff like that. And sometimes just by being in the wrong place at the wrong time,
Right.
a lot of stuff. How were you able to just to navigate that and be amongst the people, but just obviously not caught up in any foolishness or having it around you?
Being in New York, growing up, and just when you go places, people seeing you, like I said, being dressed, being a gentleman, play hard. After that, going places, just relaxing in the corner here and there. It's just, that what happened in the 80s and 90s. People got to be friends, and that thing carried on for longevity because the people you get to be your friends, they see how consistent you are. They don't mind being around you. I go to a lot of sets. And a lot of people be there and they see me there like, okay. I go to places, another place, like, okay, he consistent, dressed, he cool guy. But a lot of people just respect me because I carry myself like a professional at all times.